Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time stopping by, thank you so much for stopping by today. Today I'm going to be doing a story time, and basically the story time is all about my courtship. Oh, before I get there, thank you so much for subscribing. 100 subscribers. 100 subscribers. Thank you so much for subscribing. I really appreciate you all. So if you're new to my YouTube channel, my name is Modebe Gabriela Ifoma, and I am a Christian lifestyle blogger. I love to do a lot of story time, tell you all how the journey of faith has been. So today I'm going to be telling you all how our courtship went, because I noticed a lot of you were interested in that video where I talked about how I met my husband and we got married 10 months later. So this video is to give you guys more details on how the 10 months went. Now that 10 months is including starting of the courtship plus when the traditional marriage happened and when the white wedding happened. So everything was just 10 months. So I'm going to tell you all basically the steps we took and how the courtship went. So basically I said yes one day, I think on the 31st of December 2018, and from then the courtship, well, we wouldn't say it's officially started because we needed to get all the approval we needed to get. We got approval from our parents and also our spiritual heads, which was very, very important. And once we knew that they were on board, we knew that the courtship has started. So how did it go? All right, so the first thing that I would recall that we started to do together was praying together. It was not just about, okay, let's just get to know each other physically, or let's just get to know each other, by just having conversations. It was more about getting to know each other spiritually. So it was about praying. So I remember we were praying together in tongues, I think 1 hour every day. We prayed together in tongues 1 hour every day, which was a very good foundation, because when you pray in tongues, you pray the right prayers. I know some people might say, oh no, but that's not it. But really, praying in tongues is the Holy Spirit leading you to pray and helping you to pray, praying mysteries for you, praying the prayers you might never be able to even think about if you wanted to think about it in your mind, right? So that really helped us. So it helped to unearthing anything we wanted to unearthing. It helped to really give us a direction, a drive, and a focus. And I remember something was that, I know some people think courtship is about that time of going out on dates, exchanging gifts and all of that. Yes, that happened, that happened, of course, but that wasn't the main focus. I don't even remember how many times we went out on dates. Dates to go and sit down and be, talking and eating and all of that. Yes, of course, a lot of talking happened, but it wasn't about, oh, let's take me out to this place or take me out to that place, or me testing, oh, how much does he give gifts, or me testing this or me testing that. It was more about listening and paying attention to even the things that were not being said. Because those things are even much more powerful than even the things that are said or the actions that are taken. Getting to know the person by the Spirit, knowing the person much more deeper than whatever the person would want to give out. So for me, that was my focus, and that was also my husband's focus. Another thing was that we were very real with each other. I think we even quarreled more in our courtship than even in our marriage, because we're very real with each other. Everyone said out their do's and don'ts. Okay, this is the kind of thing I want, this is the kind of thing I don't want, this kind of person I am. Like, we were just like straight to the point. This is it. I'm not going to pretend to you. I don't believe you should pretend to me. So everyone was real. I would say we were quite real with each other. So we saw our flaws very, very well. We both saw each other's flaws. And from that courtship, we learned how to walk to, like I would say again, we quarreled more in our courtship than even we were doing in our marriage. Like, to God be the glory. I thank God for that. But I would say that we didn't have to go over all the things we had to go over in our courtship again in our marriage, because everyone knew, you're coming into this to make it work. So you better get your mind into it. Okay. Then the next thing we did was sharing our purpose for the marriage, because that was really the main reason. See, For us, it wasn't about all the love, the emotions, all the feelings. See, it was about the purpose, the real deal. Are you on this journey with me? This is where I'm going to. Are you going to submit? Are you going to go with me? Are you going to be there? Are you going to be there through the journey? And at that time, I was running a singles ministry, which was okay, was doing quite well, and my husband was starting up a new ministry, a church. And at that point, I realized that, you know what, after I prayed though, and I asked God, and I knew it was time for me to submit my ministry under my husband's own, because I we didn't want a marriage where, oh, this person is running another vision and the other person is running another vision. We wanted the vision to be one, because both of us are coming together to be one. So we had to do those little things. Okay, all right, let's bring this together. Your vision for singles, for married people, for youths, for teenagers is going to find expression under the ministry. So, that really gave us a very good start and a very good beginning in our purpose. So bringing that together really was one key thing, deliberations and, having talks and all of that. So the next thing was, really, really dealing with distractions. Because, see, your courtship has to be tested. I don't know how other people do theirs, but you have to go through a test, and that test for us was intense. So dealing with those distractions, dealing with the tests, the money test, the faithfulness test, your emotions and everything. Those things we had to go, those distractions we had to, maybe I have to do a video on it, because I really don't want to go into it. But really dealing with those things really helped us to grow together and also understand what marriage is going to be about. Knowing that, okay, I'm getting married to this person, this is the person's flaws, so this is his flaws, these are my flaws, and how do we handle this? Okay, these are the distractions I deal with, these are my weaknesses, how do we handle this? Okay, let's pray together, because this is not going to be good for our marriage. So we needed to deal with it, and we had to deal with it. Yeah, and it is the kind of dealing that there has to be results before the wedding. It got to a time I told my husband, I say, you have to deal with this. If we don't deal with this, we're not moving forward. And everyone knew that, see, this is business. It wasn't about eating chicken and hanging out and no. This is business. It's a real deal. We're going to do life together. So nobody is going to come and cause me to, regret my actions or regret my decisions. Yes, we knew it was of God, but you have to also deal with that human part. We have to also deal with that human part of ourselves. Then the next thing we now did together, which was very good and which gave us a very good start, was evangelism, daily evangelism. Seriously, guys, a soul winner is in fact, soul winning is the heartbeat of God. And when God gave us that instruction that we should do daily evangelism, it was crazy. It was crazy, especially for me, because I was like, what, daily? Like, we're going to be going out, we're going to be doing this daily, we're going to be winning souls daily. And it was a huge change for me. Yes, I had been doing ministry, but getting to that part of evangelizing daily wasn't something I was so conscious about. And I wasn't really so much of a person who would go out and evangelize, because I was used to people coming to me via different platforms I was using. I was working in the teens ministry in an established church, so like I didn't really have to go out, that kind of thing. So it was a huge change for me, but I really blessed God for it, because it helped. Going out for daily evangelism, one thing it helped us to do was to see each other daily, talk about our day. It helped, because after work we come together and we go out and do what God has asked us to do. And even when we're planning our wedding and we knew that things were not even yet ready, things were not even set, but doing what God has asked you to do just takes your mind off your own issues and just keeps your focus on God. And when you focus on God and you're not focusing on yourself, it's divine. You just have so much trust in God, knowing that God will supply all your needs. So going for those daily evangelisms, I mean, there were some times I was like, God, what is this? What kind of stress is this? Because you're closing from work, you're not just going home to go and sleep. No, you're going into the street. You're going, okay, we would meet at his place, and from there we proceed to evangelize. And I would say that some of those guys we met those times, their lives have changed. No one is the same, and we're still reaping the fruit now, and we're still doing the same thing even in marriage. So even in our marriage, daily evangelism is still one thing. Going out to reach out to souls and all of that has been one great mission and vision that God has given to us, and it has really helped even in the ministry. So that really helped our courtship, and it was not easy, I would say, but it was so worth it. So it depends on what your own journey is. That was my own personal journey, and that was one of the main things in our culture. In fact, it got to a point, some of my friends were like, no, you guys should just hold on this evangelism thing and just leave it until you're married. When you're married, you have all the time. But I needed to understand what I was going into, and it was very, very important. It was very important. Thanks to my husband for that, for saying, no, we have to do this together. We have to do it together so that you will get to understand what it is like. Then the next day there was planning our wedding, which was the peak of it. See, that was when I understood the power of two. Power of two. If two shall agree concerning a certain thing, it will happen. See, our wedding planning was, of course, that was like we started planning our wedding almost as the courtship started. But see, if the both of you do not agree, it will not work. And especially in courtship, ours was successful because we had to go through all of that, and agreement was one thing. See, I used to be this kind of person that I had a mind of my own. Like, this is what I want, and it has to be like that. And my husband too is, so like bringing the two together to plan a wedding and do it according to the will of God. Because see, it's not every wedding planning that went the way ours went. We had to do it according to the will of God, according to how God wanted it to be, according to what He's saying. And me, at some point I was struggling because there were some things I wanted that God didn't want, and I was like, struggling. And that was one major, I said that we quarreled a lot. There was a lot of friction because I want this. My husband is saying, this is what God is saying, and I'm like, how can God be saying this? For example, our wedding venue, God actually revealed to my husband a venue we should use, but I was like, oh no, we can't use that venue is too small, so how about we use this? So for months we're just doing back and forth about it, and finally, when God allows you to use a permissive will, that the devil will strike, and you will hear when small. So a day to the wedding, that venue that seemed to be like the perfect one that would fit everyone, gave us stress, gave us a whole lot of stress. And see, that was when I just made up my mind. I said, in this marriage, whatever my husband says, this is where the Lord is leading us to be. Oh yes, as long as it's the Lord who leads, we're going there. I'll pray about it, and that is it. I'm not even going to be coming with my own no, because at the end of the day, I saw it happen. See, both of you just have to agree. You have to really, really agree. And as a woman, learning submission has to start even way before the marriage, because you can't always have your way. Yes, if you want to lay out an opinion, you lay it out like an opinion, not lay it out like it's a rule. For me, then it was like, this has to happen this way, this has to happen this way, this has to happen that way, and it really caused a lot of friction. But at the end of the day, I realized that just let it be you, God, then your husband. So you to God, know what God is saying, know the heart of God. That is what is most important. And with that, you would definitely have peace in your marriage. So for our courtship, planning our wedding was really one way. God taught me faith. God taught me trust. If you've not watched that video, go watch the video how I talked about us doing everything in 3 months. At some point, I wanted us to have 2 weddings. My husband wanted us to have 1. Finally, what God wanted us to have was 2. So, everyone had their own, oh, this is what I want, this is what I want, this is what I want. By the end of the day, it is what God wants. So, learning to align with the will of God was one thing, and it was one major thing that we had to go through in our courtship. So for me personally, I would say my courtship was a success. Oh, I know a lot of you were waiting. Okay, did you guys have sex before marriage? How was the courtship? Well, we didn't have sex. We didn't have sex before our marriage, but I'll make a video about that another day. Yeah, maybe, because I know you guys would definitely want to know that. Yes, there was no sex before marriage, but there were some things, those were part of the distractions we had to deal with, guys. Yeah. But I'll do another video about that later. But yeah, we're able to wait until marriage. We're able to wait to do the real do until marriage. And well, it wasn't by power nor by might, it was by God's grace, because these two people, they were not the but I think one thing that really helped us really to take our focus onto God and really not even bother about all these fleshy things was, I think it was when we focused on daily evangelisms. Those that really helped us to just, I mean, it wasn't even coming to our minds anymore, because our hearts, our minds were about praying for the souls, praying for the ministry, praying for the foundation, and all of that. But I'll make a video about that later on. So thank you so much for sticking by. This is a very long video. If you stuck by, I love you. Thank you so much for watching, for subscribing, for liking. I really appreciate you. Also see you all in my next video. Bye.